The Pensacola Police Department offers safety programs designed for older adults living alone, shut-ins, and individuals with disabilities. Here to talk about two of these programs, Take Me Home and Are You OK, is Sergeant Jimmy Donohoe. Good morning, Sergeant Donohoe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rachel, for having me.
Well, I'm really excited about this topic, but first things first.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at the Pensacola Police Department.
I'm the sergeant over special projects at the Pensacola Police Department, which we do a plethora of different things that involve all kinds of community, the community obviously. But these two programs that we're going to talk about today are some of the more essential ones that we have that seem to help our citizens.
So how long have you been a part of the police department?
I've been with the department for 27 years. I've been full-time with them for 22 years.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so
well, we are very lucky to have you as a resource on this show. So again, thank you so much for joining us. But you're here to talk about a couple of programs.
Yes, ma'am.
The first one you actually launched and developed. Tell us a little bit about Take Me Home.
Okay, it was launched back in 2004. It's a program that we go out into the community. I'll be out tonight, actually, at Sacred Heart Hospital, getting some names and pictures into it. And basically what we do is we take pictures and critical information of people that may not be able to speak to us, or maybe even freeze up when we approach them on the street because they're lost and they don't know where to go. So we have autistic children in there, we have ARC children, and we also have Alzheimer's patients in there. And so when we approach them on the street and they can't speak to us, we can simply put their physical description into this program and ask for a search, and it'll give us all those that match that description on our screen. And then we ask for the pictures, and a picture of all those people will come up, and we click on the person that's in front of us, and it tells us who they are and where they belong and how to get a hold of their loved ones to come and get them right away, or we can take them to their address, one or the other. So it kind of expedites things. So if we don't have that, we're out knocking on doors for hours, and then even if we can't find a home for them, then they may be miles away from the home and we just didn't know it. But if we don't have that, we didn't have to turn them over to Children and Family Services, and it's a long, drawn-out process for the person involved, for us, and for the family once they realize at some point that they're missing and they need some help finding them. So it kind of hopefully eliminates a lot of that process and reunites these people, the loved ones, together again before too much trauma is involved in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we were talking a little bit before the show, but I was telling you how my mom gave me a call the other day, knowing that I worked for Council on Aging, and said that she'd been out and about and saw an older individual who just looked completely lost, and she felt concerned about it. And all I could tell her was call PPD. But if I'd known about this program, wow, I mean, what a great resource.
And you'll still have to call us, but yes, that's a common call. We have an individual out here just wandering around on the street. He seems very confused. And can you come and just check him out and see what's wrong? And again, I've answered one of those calls myself, and it was an Alzheimer's patient. It was a block away from his home, didn't know who he was or where he belonged, but we looked him up in the program, and fortunately he was in there, and we were able to take him home, and no harm.
Well, and you were, of course, like you said, you were instrumental in actually getting this program launched in our community, but you also mentioned that it's gone national, and you've been traveling a little bit with it.
Yes, ma'am. We travel around the United States training officers on autism, in this program in particular, and we're having success. We've sent it to over close to 400 agencies throughout the United States and Canada. Great. So I go to a national conference, and they tell me how it's working in other communities, and we know it's working here because we've had close to 20 finds with it here at the Pensacola Police Department.
And that's wonderful. Like I said, kind of a feather in our cap in our community to have been able to pioneer that program. But let's segue to the next program. Tell me about Are You OK?
Okay, Are You OK is a very simple program. If somebody lives alone and they feel like they, might need some assistance at some point, maybe they become a victim of a stroke or whatever, like you had in your last segment, they can register in that program. And by the way, let me just say this, Rachel, too. These programs are free. There's no charge for them. But they can register their name and phone number in the Are You OK program. And what that does is every day we have a computer-generated phone call to their home. If they can pick the time, whether it's a 6 a.m. wake-up call or 6 p.m. to watch the news or whatever they want, they can have it at the same time every day. And so it calls, and all they do is have to pick up the phone and hang it back up. Again, it's a computer, and they'll just hang up. If they don't answer the phone, it's going to call back in about 10 minutes. Maybe they were in the shower and forgot about it or whatever. They got 10 extra minutes. They're going to call one more time. If they don't answer that time, they're going to wait 10 more minutes, and then they're going to call again. And if they don't call that last time, we're coming to the house, and we're going to come in the house one way or another, and that's, you have to sign the agreement that we can come in at whatever expense we have to get in there, and then hopefully, find the person and help them in their situation. We have recovered a woman that was in her tub, had broken her hip.
Wow. And
couldn't get out. Oh, and she said she'd been laying in that tub for 23 hours. So it was just after our phone call the day before, but you can see how crucial, if we hadn't have done that, it could have been a tragic situation.
Well, what a relief that this program exists. I'm sure if some folks that are maybe caregivers for family members and maybe they need to step out for a minute, knowing that this program exists probably gives them a little bit of peace of mind, and that is wonderful. So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but can you tell us again who these programs serve?
Well, they serve, anybody. For the Take Me Home program, we don't deny anybody getting in it. I've had some ladies say, hey, my kids like to run off. Can I put them in there? Sure. What's it cost? It doesn't cost us anything, and I have kids, and I know how they like to run off. So, yeah, we'll put anybody in that program, but mainly it serves the Alzheimer's patients and autistic children and some ARC children, and that sort of thing. One thing I do need to mention, Rachel, the Take Me Home program is available in 3 counties here, from Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa. However, the Are You OK program is an exclusive program to the Pensacola Police Department. Not that we own it, but I think we're the only one in the area that might have it. And so how do you identify whether you live in the county or in the city? Well, it's your trash can.
Oh.
If you have
a difference in colors?
If you have a black trash can, you live in the city. And if you have a green trash can, you live in the county.
How easy is that?
That's how we ask when we get there. Hey, do you have a black trash can or a green trash can? Well, you got to call the sheriff's department. So it's for those, because that's the city residents that we have that, and unfortunately the sheriff's department doesn't have it yet. So, but it's available there, and again, we'll let anybody in it, but it's mainly for those that live alone, that may have a situation where they fall and they can't get up, and then they might need some assistance, and hopefully we get there in time to do that. Again, I want to reiterate that these are free programs. There's no cost to the individual. They just have to sign some agreements that we can use this, for the purposes that it's designed for.
Well, clearly there's a lot of value to these programs, and I imagine some of our viewers are going to have some questions, maybe even are wanting to sign up. Where can they sign up?
Well, they can call me. Please don't call 911, though.
Yeah, is that an offense?
There is, but we'll
we don't want to get people in trouble. Let's not encourage that.
Exactly. So you can call me at 436-5416, and that's 436-5416. And again, my name is Sergeant Jimmy Donohoe with the Special Projects Unit of the Pensacola Police Department.
Perfect. Again, we really appreciate it. This is great information I think a lot of people are going to benefit from.
Well, I hope so.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Rachel.